to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream.
Well, hi there. Welcome to the Jim Dee Podcast. That was all you have to do. That was all I have to do is dream. Originally performed by the Everly Brothers, and however, that was the Jim Dee version of that song, and one of our favorite and most played songs. There aren't many shows that don't get at least one Everly Brothers song played live. So, and that one is right there at the top of the list. Probably one of the best known Everly Brothers songs out there.
Okay, the next song is going to be by someone who actually came on the scene about the same time. I think the Everly Brothers first hit the scene in 1957. I believe that's roughly around the time that Ricky Nelson, as he was known, started off. And Rick Nelson was a big influence on me. I used to love to tune in to Ozzie and Harriet, or at least for the last 5 minutes of the show every week, because that's the part when Rick would sing a song with his band. And so I used to love to tune in for the last few minutes. It seems to me, I could be mistaken, but it seems to me it might have been on at one point. It might have been on right across from the Twilight Zone or something. It was something else that I liked to watch, and I would just turn off at the very end to try to catch Rick Nelson. But the other significant thing for me was that my very first music purchase was a Rick Nelson single, and it was cool because it was a two-sided hit, and I didn't know that was uncommon at the time because that's the first one I ever bought. But both sides of this 45 were big hits for Rick Nelson, and I'm going to do one of those tonight. I'm going to play one of those that we've just recently recorded. And it was a two-sided hit that had Hello, Mary Lou on one side and Travelin' Man on the other. And so I've just done a recording of Travelin' Man, and I might do Hello, Mary Lou, but it's got a harder guitar solo for me to play. So, so I don't know if I can pull that one off or not. Rick Nelson had a really good guitar player, a guy named James Burton, and he was so good that Ozzie, now he was young, he was maybe around Ricky's age or a year or two older or something like that, but he was around Ricky's age, and Ozzie recognized a good talent when he saw it. After all, he had been a band leader, and when he got James Burton signed up, he wanted to keep him. So about the time that Ricky was starting to work with James Burton, Rick's older brother, David, moved out of the house, not on the TV show, but in real life. And so they had an extra bedroom. And so Ozzie moved James Burton into Davy's room to keep him around. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so we're going to do, I'm going to play you now the recording we've done of this song called Travelin' Man. And so here's my version of Travelin' Man.
Traveling man, made a lot of stops all over
enjoying it, that Jim's getting to have time in the studio, and we're getting to actually record some of these songs that we sing live so often. He was talking about Hello, Mary Lou, and Hello, Mary Lou was my introduction into percussion.
That's right.
When we started singing together as a duo, and it became evident really quick that I needed to be doing something besides just sitting there like a lump while Jim played the guitar. And so we started trying different percussive instruments. And it took me a while to get comfortable, but I remember trying to learn the rhythm, the cowbell part for Hello, Mary Lou. Almost
that's great.
Killed me.
Yeah, we didn't play Hello, Mary Lou, but I can try to maybe get that one ready for next week, and then you can talk about your cowbell experience. More cowbell. Okay, so anyway, go ahead.
Well, the next song we want to do, I'm sure Jim will have something to say about this. It's a song that the memories of writing this song, I believe, was around 1974, late 73, and I think we were expecting our first daughter, and I was having a little problem with the pregnancy and had to stay in bed for a while, and we got some songs written during that time when I couldn't do much except lay around, and so I recall Starlight Starbright being one of those songs that we wrote while I was hanging out, and Jim would sit on the end of the bed and show me his ideas, and we'd write songs. And it was also during that time that we wrote the first parts of a children's book that we wrote called Grandmother's Heart. And all that ties into Starlight Starbright because we're in a ministry that was, really heavy duty, like a lot of A.W. Tozer stuff. And Jim and I always had this love for children's books. And he introduced me to the Chronicles of Narnia, and I love those. And Jim's favorite series is a series called the Freddie the Pig books. Mm-hmm. And we really liked Mary Norton and her, she's the one who wrote Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and she also wrote a series of books about these little people called the Borrowers, and they've made movies and TV shows out of those since then. But so this song is Starlight Starbright is kind of a coming of age song about trying to process all the what's real and what's not, and it was a fun song to write because we got to put all our favorite children's book characters into it.
Yeah, it was written in from perspective of someone like me who grew up without any religious upbringing whatsoever and didn't know anything about if there was a God or if God is real or anything like that. So it's kind of written from the perspective of a child that I would have been when this song was written. And we're going to play this one for you right now. And let me get the guitar, and here we go. Hang on.
Starlight, starbright, first star I see tonight. If only I could have the wish I'm wishing tonight. Grew up in a world of make-believe. Now I find far behind that world I'll have to leave. Freddie the pig was a great detective, and the Bean Home News was deserving to be read. Pod and homily, Ariete borrowers 3, they could live in a boot underneath a tree. The world of Narnia that I took to be so real. Well, it's gone. Yes, it's gone. Is God real, or is he just another myth? If only I could know for sure, then that would be my wish. I'll search till I know if he is there or not, and if he is, to him I'll give everything I've got.
All right, so that's Starlight Starbright. Most of you, or at least a great many of you, have probably heard of The Borrowers. You may have seen the movie that was out, 10, 15 years ago, but even farther back, there was a TV show. The TV show was really better because the TV show was much more like the book. It had Eddie Albert playing the part of Pod, who was the father and the husband in that family. But you may not have heard of Freddie the Pig. But you probably have heard. There's something else. There's something else for which that author is much more famous for. The author of those books was a guy named Walter R. Brooks. He started writing the Freddie books back around, I think it was maybe 1932, and he wrote them up until the mid or late 50s, and there was a lot of, I don't know how many books. There's at least 20 books. I don't know. I'd have to go out my shelf and look, but there's a lot of books.
Prolific.
He prolific. But the thing that he's most famous for was a TV show that you might have seen from the 60s, and it's probably one of those that's on TV Land or something. It was a TV show called Mr. Ed. Walter R. Brooks was the guy who came up with the concept for the Mr. Ed TV show with the talking horse. And so you might have known him from that, but anyway, yeah. If you haven't found Freddie, you can possibly still find him in the libraries, but it's a cool series.
So was there a connection between Walter R. Brooks and Francis the Talking Mule? No, just directly to Mr. Ed.
Yep. Francis was another thing altogether. I have all the Francis movies, by the way, too. If you haven't seen Francis the Talking Mule, you ought to look that.
Come on over.
Yeah, that's right. Most of them were Donald O'Connor. Although we got some on tour. Do you remember what happened to that box? We got a box that had all of them in it.
I don't know. Haven't found it yet.
Haven't finished unpacking?
Don't tell Leonard.
I know. Yikes. I got to find that box. But anyway, so for our, let's see. No, for the next song, you're gonna do the next one.
Okay. Well, our friend Winky says that if this song had been written by a guy, he would like to do this song. But he's really good at rewriting lyrics, so he has my permission to rewrite the lyrics anytime he wants. But this next song is called Till He Comes Back Home, and it is very loosely based on my life. It started off with a little truth and then spun off very soon.
Sort of a Larry Norman kind of composition here.
That's right. So listen to the lyrics of this song. My father actually was what people would call a Yankee. He was from the North. My mother actually was born in South Texas here, even though she went to California by the time she was in high school. And so that part is true. Most of the rest of the song is in an evangelistic storytelling adventure that quickly loses touch with my personal life. But it did have a lot of things to do with people. When I wrote this song, I was ministering on the street and met so many young women who were an inspiration for big parts of this song. And so here it is, Till He Comes Back Home.
Oh, wait, before I play it, there are some of you who are going to say, wait, I've heard this song before. Yes, it was on our very first album that we did in 1973. So it's available on vinyl, but this is not the old scratchy record version. This is a new recording that we did recently, which I tried to stay fairly true to the original, though I added a few extra parts. But yeah, now I can play it. Here we go.
My father was a Yankee from the north. My mother was a southern belle. It's a good thing the war was over by then. They didn't get along so well. But I could always get my own way just as long as he was gone. She'd say it's alright till he comes back home. I finally got out on my own, learned defending for myself, and I took care of number one. You know I did it very well. The men would come, the men would go. It seemed alright to me. I'd say it's alright till he comes back home. But I didn't think about the God I'd hurt, or the tears he shed over me. And I didn't care about the blood that flowed when he died alone on the tree. Now I'm walking down the road to life eternally. I look upon the former things, doesn't even seem like me. It's funny how a girl can change when all my friends agree. Now I'm waiting for my Lord's return, and when he does, you know he's gonna take me home. Jesus, come on, take me home. Oh, sweep me away till you take me home.
Okay, till he comes back home. Well, I think that's going to just about do it for us for today's podcast. I don't know how long we went, but Jim will let me know when he's got it all ready to upload. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead and if you haven't already, visit our YouTube channel.
I thought you were going to say something else about the song. No?
No,
Okay. Never mind. Just keep going.
if I was going to, it's gone out of the.
Okay.
It's gone into the ether.
Okay.
But I was just thinking that if you have not experienced some of the things on our YouTube channel, after we air these podcasts, Jim has faithfully been putting these up with the lyrics and
The songs, you mean.
Yeah, the songs. I think
Somewhat.
it's cool. We've got
Somewhat faithfully.
somewhat faithfully, and the lyrics are there, and there's lots to choose from. I think almost all of our At Home with Jim and Dee streaming shows are there, both seasons of that.
I think those all made it up there.
And so lots more besides. So we are working as we do this. We're sharing these things with you. It's helping us to wrap up and finish up some songs that we've been wanting to work on for a long time. So there you have it. Visit our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.